Hey, real quick, I haven't commented on the settlement of the Longshoremen strike agreement, the temporary agreement, mind you, since it was arrived at last week. Good news, to be sure, for now, that they got to the point where they were striking obviously would have really impacted the economy. Obviously, something President Biden and VP Harris, candidate Harris, needed to address as quickly as possible. Remember, Democrats are the party of unions, so Kamala Harris didn't want to be seen to be fighting unions to save the rest of the economy with this threatened strike by Harold Daggett, the president of the International Longshoremen's Association. So not surprising, the deal was arrived at relatively quickly. Temporary deal expires January 15th, so we'll go through this again. But it will be after the election, it will be after the Electoral College. Harold Daggett, the president, who vowed to cripple the U.S. economy, lives pretty nicely. The New York Post revealed that he lives in a gorgeous mansion in New Jersey, 7,100 square feet, 5-car garage, built-in pool, big yard, 10 acres. Not bad for a guy who doesn't produce anything. According to the New York Post, he earns about $730,000 a year in salary plus benefits, plus an additional $173,000 from the local ILA. In 2005, he was accused of taking kickbacks and racketeering by the feds. It's worth noting he's 78 years old, retired already. Let someone else live the rich life off the back of the union workers. Come on, man. It has been alleged that he has ties to the mafia. During his 2005 trial, his co-defendant disappeared and was later found murdered in the trunk of a car. Daggett fancied himself quite a bit of a tough guy. Take a listen to what Daggett had to tell the American people about the threat of the strike he put in place over the past couple of weeks.
Everybody's hating the longshoremen now because now they realize how important our jobs are. Now I have the president screaming at me, I'm putting a Taft-Hartley on you. Go ahead. Taft-Hartley means I have to go back to work for 90 days. That's a cooling off period. Do you think when I go back for 90 days, those men are going to go to work on that pier? It's going to cost the companies money to pay their salaries. Well, they went from 30 moves an hour maybe to 8. They're going to be like this. Who's going to win here in the long run?
That like this was him putting his hands to his neck and choking himself.
You're better off sitting down and let's get a contract and let's move on with this world. In today's world, I'll cripple you. I will cripple you. And you have no idea what that means. Nobody does.
Well, thank you. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that information. Our fellow American. The union boss, he's all tatted up. With his threats, he got a tentative deal for a 62% wage increase over 6 years. I think that takes the average hourly wage from $39 to $66 or something like that. The tentative deal gets us through January 15th, after the election and after the Electoral College vote. This will boost inflation, and the threats from the president guarantees a faster move towards automation. That I will cripple you threat is going to backfire on the unions, and not just this union, all unions. So this is card check, where 50% of workers sign up on a card and the government has to recognize the union. No secrecy, no privacy for workers, just sign the card. So this is a card check in blue states versus right to work in red states. Right to work is laws that prohibit forced unionization agreements, gives the worker the right to choose whether or not to join a union, and for those unionized workplaces, gives the workers the option to choose to pay union dues or not. So nice little insight into unionization. Of course, we can look back over years and years of history of unions in America, and the word corruption will always come to the top of mind. We have a litany of based on true story movies out there to demonstrate that truth. Anyway, thanks, Harold, for the threats. Hope your workers appreciate the pay raise and get ready for more automation. All right, that's all I have for you right now. Always try to buy American.